Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and surprise, surprise, the third sneak peek for the upcoming Marvel Future Fight Disney Plus Hawkeye update is none other than Echo. And we actually do get a bit of new information with this sneak peek. Well, actually two pieces of information. We get confirmation that she's going to be a transcended character, not a tier 3, which I was sort of on the fence about. And then we also get potential confirmation that she's going to be a hero and not a villain, which is very interesting because in the game right now, Echo is a hero with the Phoenix Force tag, or the Enter the Phoenix tag, whatever you want to call it. But in the show, she's sort of a villain, and she does play the antagonist role versus Kate Bishop and Clint Barton Hawkeye. So it's interesting that they're sort of keeping the theme and keeping her as a hero. She's not necessarily a villain in the comics at large. Like if you take the totality of what she's done, she's, you know, maybe 80%, 70% a hero. But at least in the Disney Plus show, she was pretty much a villain at the very least. I guess at the very least, you could say she was like a confused villain. But anywho, let's check it out. The crime syndicate commander with experience like no other, inspired by Hawkeye, Maya Lopez has come to silence her enemies in the update because she's deaf. Not because she's deaf, because she kicks butt. Now, let's check it out, but the silence thing is sort of a play on her deafness. Let's check out the sneak peek. So we go back to some of the OG MFF music. We see Kate Bishop shooting an arrow, and then bada bing! And I gotta say, I know this might not be her final look in-game, but damn, does that look like the actress that plays Maya Lopez in the show? Are the artists getting better for Marvel Future Fight? Like aging like a fine wine, ladies and gentlemen, aging like a fine wine. So that's cool. And then we see the Transcended logo again, which again hints that she's transcended. So hoard those materials if you do want to transcend Kate Bishop and Echo ASAP and start playing or continue playing Squad Battle, hopefully. And then we see a brief glimpse once again at the poster. And yes, it's just Kate, Clint, and you get a very, very, very brief look at Maya down there. She's so tiny, it looks weird. She looks like she's going to fit in the pocket of Clint. But yeah, it's just the three of them. There's no Kingpin, there's no Yelena. Presumably, we don't know for sure, but presumably it's just the three of them. So this feels more like a mid-month update in my opinion. Now, over here is where we sort of get the clues that she's going to be a hero. This hero, they literally just tell you, who can duplicate any fighting style, kind of like Taskmaster, is in search of the villain who murdered her father. By the way, spoiler alert, that's Wilson Fisk Kingpin. And then they say the Master Assassin, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if Echo is an assassin really in the comics, but you know who is kind of an assassin? Yelena. So maybe, yeah, conspiracy theories, go ahead with that one. Will this superhero be able to find the culprit and take her revenge? We will announce the details through the update details to come. So, for those of you wondering on a timeline for what's going down, tomorrow, yes, Tuesday, so today's Monday when this video drops, tomorrow, Tuesday, in the early hours of the morning, so Tuesday at like 4 or 5 a.m., they'll drop the patch notes. Then Tuesday night, they will have the live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, where they will, it's a pre-recorded live stream where they will go over the new uniforms and things like that. And then even later, Tuesday night, presumably, if the update schedule is keeping with maybe not recent updates, but general themes for updates, then the maintenance will be around the time that the update starts, and then it will end in the wee hours of the morning on Wednesday. So everything's happening in the next like 36 hours is going down. So that's pretty exciting. But that only takes up about 4 minutes of a video. So what I actually want to spend the rest of the video doing is talking about something that I was planning to talk about in case there wasn't a sneak peek. And in my opinion, this is a lot more important than a sneak peek. No offense to Echo. It's more important than I think any sneak peek, maybe, unless there was a sneak peek that revealed like sweeping game mode changes. Because basically, I've been racking my brain and I've been trying to figure out why MFF feels so dry. And when we say dry, and when I say we, trust me, a lot of players are experiencing this and expressing this in the forums, Twitter, Discord, etc. The game's boring, the game's dry, and what dry is more like, it's not necessarily boring, it's just not fun. The fun is sort of, you know, it's sort of in that gray area between fun and boring. And dry basically means that the players don't really know what needs to be added, right? Because if you eat something that's dry, you're like, oh, it tastes dry, but like, how would you fix it? Would you fix it with like sauce? Would you fix it with, you know, using different ingredients? Would you fix it by combining it with something else that maybe can bring some of that freshness back? There's a lot of different options. So I'm going to take my swing at this, okay? Why is Marvel Future Fight experiencing an extended dry spell? I think I know the reason for it, and it's actually pretty straightforward. The word of the day is rewards. Yes, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I think rewards in Marvel Future Fight have not improved recently in a meaningful way. And I say that, it's difficult to say because the devs have actually been really good about improving rewards up until recently. Last year, we got a ton of amazing reworks to rewards, and the game felt super fresh for almost the entire year. Especially the first 6 months, I was just flying through the game because of how good the core mechanic rewards were being improved. And when I say core mechanic rewards, I'm talking about the core gameplay loop, which is unlocking a character. You need biometrics for that, leveling up that character and taking them to 6 stars, tier 2, which you're going to need gold for that and all the other materials and whatever. Then using tier 2 materials to get them, all the way up past tier 2. Then using tier 3 materials to transcend them or tier 3 them, right? Those core game mode and that core mechanic of rewards has been improved really well last year. But right around May of last year, they basically stopped. And I don't know if that coincides. It coincidentally coincides with the release of Marvel Future Revolution, but that's basically where I think things started to become dry. 1%, 2%, 3%. And it slowly started to build up like the sand when you turn one of those sand timer doohickeys like they do in Jumanji. So if we take a look at everything since May, you're probably going to say to yourself, and you're going to type in the comments down below, Alex, they have improved rewards. They have improved, and they have, you're right, but not for the core game mechanics. What they did instead was introduce artifacts, and I'm not making this whole spiel to hate on artifacts, but basically what they did was they introduced artifacts, and then they introduced or brought back or changed existing game modes to add in artifacts as a reward, or add in Celestial Essence as a reward. That's not bad, but it doesn't address the core mechanics and those rewards that are still needed. So if you take a look at the new content since basically after Shang-Chi, where we get the legendary battle and we get the really good CTP of Judgment, you have the new Epic Quest, the deluxe packs that now give you Celestial Essence essentially, because they give you artifacts that you can crunch down into Celestial Essence. Because once you get one of each of these, you don't need duplicates. You can't upgrade them. So you're just going to crunch them down for Celestial Essence. So we gave up the other rewards, which were, the extreme ISO and all that other stuff, and you instead get this. Okay, then what do they do after that? They introduced Timeline Survival, and guess what? They took the tier 3 materials out of that, and they only give you artifacts and Celestial Essence. Okay, then they introduce another new game mode. So many new game modes, but guess what? It only gives you Celestial Essence and artifacts, which you crunch down for more Celestial Essence. Okay, bro, but then they added World Boss Legend Infinity Ultron. That's so sick. And you know what? You're right. It is so sick. And it actually made me sick to realize how quickly players got bored of this. And I'm not saying I'm bored of it, and I'm not saying that mechanically the fight is not amazing. It's such a cool fight. It's so awesome to take different teams in against the Ultron and feel like you're really fighting that what-if version of Ultron. So why does it feel dry? Because the rewards are copied and pasted from over a year ago. Sure, you have the chance to get a mighty CTP of Destruction, and you do get the icon once, which is a nice touch, and you can get the artifacts for Ultron, which again is a nice touch, but those are few and far between. And once you nab the 6-star or the 5-star version of the artifact, the rest of them don't even matter anymore. So again, 99% of the rewards in this game mode are identical to these ones. And the thing is, they're not identically difficult. This is way harder. I can easily farm stage 40 of both of these dudes. I can barely farm stage 24 of this guy. So he's almost double the difficulty. But have the rewards doubled? No. Have the rewards even changed? We don't need the rewards to double. We just need the rewards to change. I think that is really the realization that I've come to, is that when the rewards become the same, the gameplay loops lose a lot of their value. And that's the opposite of what we saw last year. They introduced Null, and people's eyes were popping out of their sockets. They're like, bro, we can farm so much CCF. Let's go. And people were just rabid. And it was amazing. And everyone was having fun in the game, right? It was awesome. And then a few months later, they add in Dispatch. And Dispatch, it gives you a little bit of everything, but most of all, it gives you gold and energy. Those are the most core. Those are the two most important resources in the game. Well, besides crystals, right? So it gives you tons of gold and tons of energy. Let's go! The players were so hyped for Dispatch, and they're still hyped for Dispatch. Guess what? When they added those last 2 stages of dispatch, nobody was hyped for that because it's only for the new resource. It's not for any of the old existing resources. So here's the problem. There are still existing resources and rewards that need to be buffed, that have never been buffed. And that is where I think the problem lies. And that's where I think the easiest fix comes from. Because yeah, we can ask for new game modes. We can ask for some crazy new Alliance Conquest, Timeline Battle, Hybrid. We can, oh, we need another World Boss Legend. We can throw all this stuff out there and we can cross our fingers and hope and pray that the devs are going to do that. But let's be real. It's a 7-year-old game. It's getting a little long in the tooth. We have 250 characters, over 350 uniforms. The house is kind of packed. I can see the walls kind of, you know, comically bending outwards. They're kind of concave when they're convex when they shouldn't be. So with that being said, there are some really easy solutions here to some of the most important materials that have never been buffed. And I'm going to start off with one of my favorites here, Titan records. There's a cap of 40 Titan records, so I understand why the devs have been very hesitant to put these in any other game mode, and they have sort of soft offered them in things like token exchanges where you can exchange one, or even for the pre-release tokens, which are completely free and you don't really sacrifice much. You can exchange tokens for one book selector. So I get that, that's cool, but we really should be able to and could be able to farm them somewhere besides World Boss Ultimate and World Boss Legend. Not to mention the whole conspiracy that they drop less books in World Boss Legend to make up for the fact that there's more CCF, right? It's been 4 years since you introduced World Boss Ultimate and since you introduced Tier 3 Captain America. 4 years, and you've never improved the drops for Titan records by putting them anywhere else. I think this one's kind of a long shot at best because they just introduced that offer where you can pay to get 10 books and it pops up sometimes when you're in World Boss. But I honestly think if they just added a Titan record as maybe the reward for getting 70 wins for the week in Timeline Battle, like there's tons of different places that you can put the rewards, you know what I mean? They don't have to be all packed in the same game mode every single time, right? You could just have 1 Titan record per week. It's not even that much, dude. It's 4 per month, or maybe 2 per week, so 8 per month. That's not even enough for a character, but it would make it so much more exciting. Right, just knowing that you're making more progress by doing the same game modes would entice so many more players to log in daily, spend more time in the game daily, and potentially spend more daily. But it doesn't just stop with Titan records. What else has not improved since it was introduced last year, or furthermore, like more than last year? Card crafting cubes. And I've already harped on this endlessly. So again, it would be really nice if we got a new GBR. It would be really nice. Right? But we don't have to get a new GBR. They could make GBR so much more exciting by just doubling the number that you get. By doubling the amount that drops and doubling the amount that you can farm every day, so you can farm 1,000 now. That's all you got to do. Just double the rewards, dog. It's not that hard. You know what else they could double the rewards for? Because again, you can only get these rewards in one game mode, dude. Is the stuff that you get from World Event. All of these items that I'm picking on have never had their rewards improved or introduced in other game modes, and they only exist in one game mode, right? World Boss for this one, GBR for this one, and then I don't have many of these kits and the agent tokens, but you can only get that from World Event. Why not have it in one other game mode, like Squad Battle, or Timeline Survival, or Dimension Rifts? Make those game modes more interesting by increasing the variety of rewards, right? So yeah, that's basically what I think the issue is. And something that you can also look at to point and say, oh yeah, this is definitely an issue, is the story mode. Because the story mode is introduced and it's an amazing way to farm tier 3 materials and some premium items. However, the devs quickly realized after a year of farming it that it's really tedious. Even for die-hard fans like me, it just takes too much time. It's just way too time consuming. So back in November, they released a dev note, which is now 5 months old. And they said, listen, guys, we're going to work on auto play or something for timeline or for story mode, because we know you want to farm fragments, but we know you don't have an hour and a half to sit by your phone every day manually playing this content. But that was 5 months ago, bro. If that had come in January or February, I guarantee you I wouldn't be making this video right now. And we would not be talking about how dry the game is, because instead of that, I would be dropping videos monthly on the boxes that I'm opening, right? Because I'd be opening these fragment chests because I could do that instead of having to dedicate all this time that I could be living and doing other things, which, to be honest, is what I'd rather be doing at this point. I don't have the time to dedicate 5 hours a day to MFF anymore like I used to. So yeah, That's really where I see the game heading. I do think the devs need to take a new look and need to basically circle around again and look hard at the rewards. I mean, even something as simple as TCP and EOD, right? The other two materials, because they buffed CCF, but they didn't buff the other two. And again, a very simple change would just be, why doesn't Ultron, instead of dropping more CCF, why doesn't he drop more TCP? He doesn't even have to drop CCF. Make players make decisions. I've said that, I've preached this so much, but make players make decisions. When you give players the agency to make decisions, then they feel more invested in the game that they're playing. If you give them the same ice cream every single day and you're like telling them, no matter what you do, you're gonna get the same rewards, whether you play this clown or this clown or this clown, it gets boring so fast, even though these are really cool clowns, right? We got the Hell Clown, we got the Darkness Clown, and we got the Robo Clown. I love these clowns, but they all drop the same crap, dude. What's the point, right? It just feels it all feels the same because they all give the same, right? And it shouldn't. They should all, like, one should drop TCP, one should drop EOD, and one should drop CCF. That's how it should be. So this month I'm farming Mephisto, next month I'm farming Null. Like, that would make it so much more interesting. Anywho, I digress. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know if you think it's rewards that need to be changed and improved and shuffled around in the game, or maybe it's something else and I'm completely off base. Like the video because it helps the algorithm and it helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.